they were both notified of this by briefs and by requests for their recusal from the Foundation for Moral Law, even before they heard oral argument.
Well, they
didn't recuse.
So under those two principles, either one of those, well, they could be impeached. I don't think that the political will exists.
No.
But I think that it's a point of law that we need to not let go of personally.
Well, the point I was trying to make is Congress has made rules for recusal. And all the good judges across the country are under rules like that, whether state or federal. They knew the rules. They knew there's nobody over them and that Congress is not going to do anything. And they sat on this case, two justices that had performed same-sex marriages.
They're clearly
one,
biased.
Justice Ginsburg, performed a same-sex marriage after a notice of recusal was filed in the court on April 27th. It was not noted on the dockets until May 21st, and it was not noted on dockets till after June, actually. And she performed another same-sex marriage, and
they don't care. There's a brazen arrogance there that's breathtaking. And the lack of political courage and will from people like McConnell, Boehner, the people who play to us with their words. We're for marriage, we're for pro-life, blah, blah, blah. But then when really comes time to stand up and to fight, they don't do it, they roll over.
You know, 1986 in Bowers versus Hardwick, that was the case that was brought to the Supreme Court from Georgia in the first test of sodomy. And the Supreme Court found there was no right to commit sodomy under the Constitution. In that case, argued by Lawrence Tribe, who lost, it went down in history as declaring that sodomy was not a right. 17 years later, another justice by the name of Anthony Kennedy found such a right and declared that that was not proper law. What you should know is it was Lawrence Tribe who spoke for Anthony Kennedy to become a member of the bench. And they talked about these specific issues. And this is something that was out on...
They ignored the law, precedent, stare decisis. They want to use it when it's to their benefit.
They set up their own future there.
Let's take a radical turn towards history. In Nuremberg, the underlying principle of Nuremberg was that crimes committed under the color of law cannot be protected.
No, because they were a violation of the higher law.
Right. I mean, the victorious Allies wrestled with this and said, look, we can't allow what they did to go unpunished.
Well, Justice Jackson, who was the United States Supreme Court Justice, is one of the prosecutors, actually. He came off the bench to be a prosecutor at Nuremberg, and he basically declared that you can't get by with murder by saying the state or the Hitler told me to do it. And they say for that you could be prosecuted. And yet today we're not looking to those same laws.
I think some of the most damning words of all of human history are, I was just following orders.
Well, that's exactly what Lieutenant Calley said in Vietnam in the 1960s. And he said that orders were from Captain Medina, his superior officer. The court-martial said it doesn't matter who gives you orders. If it violates the Constitution, it's against the law. And this is certainly like that today in our court system.
What should governors, state attorneys general, state attorneys general be doing right now?
Well, just like Roberts implied, the efficacy of the judgments of the high court are in the hands of the executive and the states. I think the states should be addressing these issues as they see fit, instead of just taking a hands off and saying, well, it's the law of the land.
Right, that's
that
nonsense.
is a great misunderstanding.
Do you want to get America out of the hands of wicked and unjust men and women who are destroying the republic before our eyes, and put leadership back into the hands of righteous men and women so that we don't die as a nation? Well, you're talking about social revolution, and there are rules in social revolution. We can look at the victorious social revolutions of the past, such as the end of slavery, the end of child labor, women's voting rights, the end of segregation, and so much more, and learn from their victories. Look at their actions, their images, their rhetoric, their sacrifices, and their final fruit. We will send you this series that originally cost $129, 7 books for students, 1 teacher's guide, if you'll give a gift of any size and just pay for shipping and handling. Take advantage of it today.